research is implemented to identify the most suitable potential hire at the job at hand. It's the core function of HR. When I was hired, I went through every process. I applied online, went through, and did everything the right way. Technology and HR, you see, all these people are playing Pokemon Go. I don't think you noticed that. But you see, like, everyone just looks down at their phone. It's because everything's online. They want to make sure that we're getting to you and we can outsource to the right people. They could be anybody. They have to listen to you, anybody. Like, if you want a job, what do? You go for it. So, there's a lot of people in the world, their applications are stories about their career. Everyone, like, I've had a lot of jobs. I've gone through pretty much every type, and I've gotten interviewed the right way. They were able to separate my type of qualifications, so that I have a lot of qualifications, so I apply to a lot of different places. They all want a piece of me, and this is how they segment people when they're hiring, because they want to find the right person. Identification. So this is apparently like some really famous poker person. You have to identify a good hand. That's one of the skills that an HR person requires, because you got to look among everybody and be like, whoa, I want you, because you're somewhat better. A variety is really important. This is one thing I learned when I was younger. You put a bunch of straight lines together, and it makes a perfect curve. So you want to have people that are like a variety. They hit you from every area. To make that perfect circle, it's really important to be well-rounded as a business. The puzzle piece. HR managers, they have developed a future position description that must be filled. So they know exactly what they want for the job. It's really important to know that this certain person would do better doing one thing than the other, like the next person that's beside them. You want to find that perfect path that every person's supposed to find. Like every person's destined for. Plan elements. So this is some of the things that go through the hiring process. Posting period is how many new workers can be brought and recruited in a certain amount of time. Placement period. Placement goals is is a position appropriate for new hires. Additional advertising resources, how they can reach out to people perfect for the job. Diversity agencies, there are certain rules and regulations that must be met regarding diversity and everything. The reason I had a picture of people partying is because they're welcoming the new hire, and it's really important to make sure everyone's comfortable. Reviewing the applicant, here's this guy, he's reviewing these two female applicants. He just, yeah, it's really important. You can review people face-to-face, online. Online is really convenient. I have a picture of a festival I went to, EDC, New York. It's really important. As a HR person, I'm the specialist. I pick you, but there's got to be a reason why I pick you. My spotlight isn't just on you because you look good. It's because you have qualifications that can make my job or my company stronger. And they'll make a checklist, making sure okay, this is what you need. This is why I want you. This is what we need for the job that can make us strive, not bring us down. Yeah, so here's a picture of gears. One piece, I guess if you have a chip or something, one piece, it won't all flow as well. So you can't be that chip in a piece. You can't be that chip in the gear. You gotta be strong. You gotta make sure that you can do everything, make the job work, function correctly. Words of an HR specialist. And I mean, to be honest, I put those words up because I consider myself an HR specialist. We are all in this. Group effort is what makes us stand tall. So pyramids right here, strong base, just like I said in the beginning. All together we'll stand tall. This is a recap. I have this. I watched South Park. I put this in here because you want to know both your candidates. You want to know everything that they do and what they can do to make the world better. And you see in South Park they make fun of the people, but yeah. Hiring process. The key to many pieces in a successful business. Each area is our decision. or it makes our decision-making process like vital. There's another pyramid of people, one person out, and it will fall. Introducing Brandon.
How you guys doing? My name is Brandon Bowen, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the training process. My goal today is to share with you why training is so important, and also a little bit about my experience in going through a training process. So to start, what is training? So to me, training is the process of getting new hires up to speed and teaching them and developing some of the skills that they're going to need to work for us. Also, we need to get them on the level of the employees who currently work for us, and we want to get them ready to contribute to our business. So why do we do it? We do this so that they can meet their coworkers. We also do this to make the new employees feel comfortable in their new environment, and we want to teach them what is going to be expected of them moving forward. You can't throw a new employee into a new environment without proper guidance and expect them to be successful. So in other words, you can't throw them into the fire without some direction. Training gives them a good foundation of skills to build on so that they can be successful for you both presently and moving forward. Another reason we train them is money. By training an employee, we are investing in them. So the more money and more time you invest in them, the better the payoff they are going to be for your company, both now and again moving forward. So I talked a little bit about making them comfortable. We want our employees to feel like they belong in their new company. We want them to stay with us long term. We don't want them here for 6 months. We want them for 6, 10, 12 years. So training is almost a welcoming for them into their new environment, and it makes them feel part of the team. So some ways to train. You'll start with on-the-job training. So HR will set you up to shadow someone in a similar or the same job. And this will get you some hands-on experience and also get you familiar with the business process and what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. And then there's in the classroom training. So in this, you'll go over rules and regulations, you'll cover policies and code of conduct, you'll also go through some computer modules and simulations, and oftentimes you could be tested on these just to make sure that you have a basic understanding of what was taught. Now I'm going to talk about patience. Patience is a very important part of the training process. Employees and people in general all learn at different rates of speed. And so it's important that you are patient with them and allow them to grow into their new position. So now I've talked about some bigger ideas. Now I want to talk about some of the little things. So as you see here, President Obama is eating alone. That is not something that you want your new employees doing on their first day. You want to welcome them in, extend an invitation to whatever the company is doing. If they're having a social gathering or whatever for lunch, you want to make sure that they're included in that. On their first day, they're going to meet a ton of people. You want to provide them with a list of names, people's positions, contact information, to trying to help with the process of getting to know everybody and becoming familiar with their new environment. Now, this is a picture of a beautiful cafeteria. If this is what your cafeteria looked like as a company, you would want them to see this. So showing a new employee around is a very important part of the training process. You want them to see everything you have to offer. You want them to know where they can go to the bathroom, where they get a cup of coffee, and so on. So what is HR's role in this? As you can see here, this is kind of a perspective picture. HR kind of overviews the whole process to make sure that it runs efficiently and smoothly. They're not directly involved all the time. At times they can be, but they're not directly involved at all points. HR should have a constant open line of communication with the trainee throughout this entire process to ensure that it's just running right and that the trainee is gaining the knowledge that they need to be successful moving forward. So now I'm going to get into a little bit of my experience and talk to you about the training program that I went through and how everything that I talked about applies to me. So I worked at this bank, which is Ocean City Home Bank, small town bank by where I'm from. And I just want to share with you guys a little bit of my experience. I'm going to start with my first day. It was a crazy day. So I reported here to start, which is in Linwood, New Jersey. I reported to the HR department, which is located on the second floor. And so I did a lot of the boring first day paperwork and stuff, and then I went upstairs to complete a computer module. And then they sent me to this place that is coming up. This is Margate. This is where I ended up working in the summer. And here I met the manager and the head teller and the rest of the people I was going to be working with. They provided me with a list of people's names who were my coworkers, and taught me door codes, had lunch with me, a lot of the little things that I talked about that were definitely very important to me. So for the rest of that week, I shadowed, and then the next week I reported to yet another branch for classroom training, and the class training was actually led by the president of the HR company, HR department, excuse me, and there were guest appearances from upper level management during that course as well. During that, we went through some computer simulations. The vice president of the company actually treated us to dinner, or lunch, excuse me, which was a pretty cool thing. We went over policies, rules, and regulations, which is what I talked about. And in my experience, the company's training program was very efficient, very good. I felt very prepared to do my job. So overall, it was definitely a success. That's all I have for you guys. I appreciate your attention. Now Andrew is going to take over and talk about team building activities.
Alright, so my name's Andrew. I'm going to talk about team building activities. I'm going to talk about why team building and these activities are important, the different types of team building and team building activities, and give some examples of them, as well as my personal experience last summer where I worked, where the managers tried to implement a highly effective team building strategy. Alright, so why is team building important? There's many reasons. One of the main reasons is communication. You want everyone to be communicating. You want effective communication. You want everyone to be able to talk to each other. And you want to be able to reach goals together. Another one, you want to boost team performance. I mean, you want to be successful, and by that you have to understand your coworkers' strengths, weaknesses, their interests. You want to be an overall fun atmosphere. You want people to contribute to the well-being of the company without feeling judged or anything. And you want your coworkers to be creative and have new ideas and maybe out-of-the-box thinking. Alright, so there's 4 main types of team building activities. They're communication, problem solving, adaptability, and trust building. And I will get into a couple activities and which one is in which activity. Alright, so the first one is called 15 Minutes on Recruiting. This is specific to HR activity, but in any company you can tweak it to fit your organization. I'll explain that in a minute. So the info applies, this is a good one because the info applies directly to the company and solves real life problems within the company. In this case it's recruiting. So what is it? The top 3 recruiting goals of the company will be written on a board, and with the questions who, what, where, when, why, and how underneath. And then teams will get together and have 15 minutes to fill out the details of these answers, and then you'll get together and discuss about how you're going to achieve these goals and work together with if people don't agree. So the purpose, main purpose, you're communicating with people. Problem solving, you're solving problems that are within the HR department. You're collaborating together as well as boosting team performance. Alright, so here's another, this is a hands-on problem-solving activity. This is familiar because we did this in class, the Marshmallow Challenge. So what is it? Well, it falls under the problem-solving communications activity. So what is it? We know you get spaghetti, tape, string, and a marshmallow, and the purpose, you have to build the tower as tall as possible with the marshmallow on top, and it has to stand for 5 seconds, and it can't lean on any object. There's an example of one. The purpose of this, it's a fun way to collaborate with your coworkers. It's not anything serious. You're building relationships. You can bounce ideas off each other in a comfortable environment. Like I said, comfortable. It's unlike the last one where it's more of a serious issue you're dealing with, and helping the company recruiting. This is more of a fun thing. And then maybe if you have more competition activities later on,